Okay, Heidi, I sent it to the cloud.
Okay, thank you. Well, yeah, we're good. I see it's on.
I got everybody in that's here. We're at 31 after. Everything is going smooth. And it's going next. I'll tell you guys when we should be live, and Heidi, you can check for us. Okay, I'm hitting the go live button right now. So everybody look for it. And I think we should be live, everybody.
We're on.
Yep. And happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week. We are here again with the Hemp Life Hustlers team, my amazing team. And tonight we have a special guest speaker for everyone. Carlos, he's absolutely doing amazing in his business with HempWorks. He is pushing for a 50K rank at this point in time. So what better kind of person to bring out here to you guys to speak about this opportunity and how he's done it and what it's done for him. So I will go ahead and hand it off to him.
Awesome. Heather, thank you so much. And Heather, I don't know if you want to mute everyone because you're going to get a lot of background noise. But I'm totally okay, whichever way you want to handle it. So, folks, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a blessing and an honor. I am very humbled when someone asks me to come and speak. I'm like, you want me to speak? Really? Me? So thank you. Thank you so much. I am blessed and honored to be here. And, folks, I'll tell you a little bit about my story, and we'll kind of get into how I got the 25K affiliate in just a little bit. But my name is Carlos Martinez. I live in Chicago. I'm 51 years old. Single dad. I've been through 2 marriages. You know, I don't know if I'll ever get married again. I would like to sometime, but right now I don't have a significant other. So I'm happily single with my 4 little Shih Tzus over here kind of napping. I got 4 dogs. Okay. So besides my 2 daughters, my daughters are everything for me. So my eldest one is Amanda. It's her birthday this weekend. She'll be 25 years old on May 11th. So we're going out to celebrate with a nice Thai dinner this Friday. Her and my other daughter, Kayla. Kayla is 15 years old. And with the Hispanics, it's very big to celebrate the quinceañera, right? So the quinceañera means 15. We had a big celebration. She turned 15 in November, so it was a huge celebration. We had like 325 guests. We ended up, it's a mini wedding. We spent like over $25,000 on this thing. So anyway, very special, very beautiful. If you go back to the Friday after Thanksgiving on my Facebook page, you'll see that I did a lot of lives from that event. It was very beautiful. But anyway, a little bit more about me. I come mostly from corporate America. So I did 29 years total in corporate logistics. So what is corporate logistics? UPS, the delivery company, that's logistics. So I started at UPS as a young 19-year-old at the time, okay, working my way, unloading packages and stuff like that. In the meantime, going to college, getting my degree, my bachelor's degree in economics and finance. And then I just kind of stayed with UPS, because it was comfortable and I just kind of wanted to work up the ranks. And all in all, I was at UPS for about 21 years until 2008. And then I just kind of jumped around from logistics company to logistics company. But here is the thing. The thing that bothered me more than anything else is that I would work my butt off. I eventually got into sales. At first I was in the operations side, but then I got into sales in 1992 and I ended up loving it, okay? Because I love the freedom. I love going out meeting people. But here's the thing. No matter how hard I worked, whether I brought in $1 million in sales or whether I brought in $1,000 in sales, everyone got the same raise. And it was the same thing, 2.8%, maybe 3%, maybe 3.5%. So I knew year after year after year after year, like, man, all I'm doing here is making the bosses rich, making the corporation rich. So as a result, I started to get into network marketing, right? And it was actually a fellow UPSer by the name of Garrett in 1995 when I joined my first network marketing company. So it was Amway, okay? I joined Amway, fine company, an outstanding company. But I couldn't make it work. So I would typically last about 3 years with a company and just kind of bounce around and doing the same thing, warm market, trying to invite. I was a horrible inviter. I just felt, even though I was in sales with UPS, I just felt salesy, you know, talking to people, trying to invite them to either, you know, a wine and cheese party at my house or a meeting at a local hotel, right? I just, as a result, my numbers were horrible. So I jumped around from company to company over the span of like 23 years, okay? And had no success until I joined really the 14th company, which was 2 years ago, okay? Now that company was a high ticket affiliate marketing company. To be like, the minimum to get in was like 2,500. To be all in was like 60,000, all right? I cashed in my UPS pension because I honestly thought this was it. This is, you know, oh, and by the way, let me take a little back step. So in the early 2000s, I was like, I wanted to be a mini Donald Trump. All right, I wanted to get it. I got into a lot of real estate. I was actually originating loans and I was buying a lot of properties and flipping them. Everything was good. Okay, I was mortgaged to the hilt. Right, I was buying a lot of properties, zero money down. The market, as you know, crashed and burned in 2008. I had adjustable rate mortgages on all my properties. So guess what? I couldn't afford the payments anymore. I had, in 2009, after having a 783 FICO score my entire life, I had to humble myself and file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Okay. My second wife left me. We were already having tons of problems. So the money situation just made it worse, right? So we were already having tons of problems. And my second wife ended up leaving me. And, you know, long story short, I went through just a bad situation. And mostly I was bouncing around from, so at that point, I left UPS in January of 2008 to just focus on real estate. The real estate bottomed out August, September of 2008, 8-9 months later. Crash, total crash. And I was holding on like, okay, it's going to turn around. Because you know what? You know, real estate has never really bottomed out. It's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. Never turned around. So in 2009, when all my savings, everything that I had over 300,000 in 401k. I had some UPS. I had about another 250,000 in UPS stock. I had about $500,000, okay, in assets. I cashed it all in to keep my properties afloat. About 6, 7, 8 months into it, I ran out of money. I had no choice but to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. You talk about an all-time low. I mean, this really just hit me, right? Like, oh man. So then on top of that, you know, my wife left me. I still loved her. I wanted to stay together, but she left me. Hey, you know, it happens. We're divorced and we get along great now. Okay, raising our youngest daughter. Okay, but you know, yeah, it was a tough time for me, a very dark time. And in the meantime, I was bouncing around from logistics company to logistics company, and it wasn't my passion. It's not what I wanted to do. Okay, I think someone's starting to screen share there. I think Adela is starting to screen share. But anyway, I'll keep talking. Okay, so what ended up happening? There we go. I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, so what ended up happening? I don't know if you can stop the screen share. There we go. Okay, so what ended up happening was I bounced. That's okay. No worries, Heather. No worries. I bounced around from company. Yeah, we're all good. It happens. I was bouncing around from company to company with logistics, but it was not my passion. That's not what I wanted to do because I knew a long time ago that all I was doing was making people rich, and I knew that I wanted to get into network marketing. So in 2016, I got into this, December 2016, I got into this high-ticket affiliate marketing company, and I did quite well with it. And because what happened was that you bought buyers from them. And when you bought buyers, you know, you just had to work them. I didn't have to learn how to drive traffic, right? You just bought buyers from them, and they took them through the system, and depending on what level they bought, I made some decent money. Well, it got closed down by the FTC on June 5th. FTC closed it down on June 5th. And if you guys have never been through a shutdown, it's horrible. The first things that go, just so you guys know, the first things that go are the merchant payment systems. And when that happens, see, I didn't know this. The courts tell the upper management, okay, there's a gag order and they're not allowed to say anything. So it's not like they were communicating with us. Hey guys, we're shut down. At the beginning, you're just left to think that the system is down. All right. So the system went down Tuesday, June 5th at about 9 or 10 p.m. Chicago time. And we're like, okay, maybe the system is down, because I had a couple of people that were jumping on at the $2,500 level. I couldn't process the payment. I said, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you know what? We'll process your payment in the morning. Okay. Went to sleep, and everything we did was on Skype. Okay. So that's where all the chats were happening. Woke up the next morning, system was still down. Wow, I've never seen this. What's going on? Okay. So we're still hoping the worst, you know, day is normal, going through my appointments, because I was also a coach of this company. All of a sudden it gets to Thursday and Friday, and you know something's not right, and you're getting zero communications from upper management. Okay. Well, guess what happened? I knew at this point it was gone. I had a big check coming to me. That I knew I was not going to get paid. Okay, because I know, because once the FTC gets their claws in you, you don't get out of the FTC's claws. It's that simple. So I knew it was gone. So on Sunday, June 10th, my mentor and sponsor, Ron Deering, introduced me to this awesome opportunity. All right. Now, a little bit more about me. Okay. Like all these books you see here, a lot of them are biblical, a lot of them are personal development. Okay. But I have a huge passion for holistic health. I had a professor in a local city college. It's a college called Wright College. Okay. Wilbur Wright, the Wilbur Wright brothers. And I had a biology course that I had to take. His name was Professor Garrett. And he was actually a licensed medical doctor, supposed to be teaching biology. I was a young 19-year-old or 18-year-old at the time, okay? But he taught nutrition. And at the time, he was curing patients of any stage of cancer, didn't matter what kind of cancer, with high dosages of intravenous vitamin C, like Charlie. And Professor Garrett, and at the time he was already in his 60s, Professor Garrett, this is amazing. You've cured cancer, you know? Like, guys, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, what do you mean? You know, you found the cure for cancer. He goes, guys, this is a racket. It's all about chemo. It's all about the money. Follow the money. They're never going to let this get out. Okay. As a matter of fact, he said, they're trying to strip my license away and kick me down to Mexico or up to Canada. Okay. And so I'm like, well, Professor, why would they do that? Well, that man had a profound impact on me, that I just started to devour all kinds of books. Now, this is 1986, so the internet wasn't around yet. I started to devour all kinds of books on health, okay? And then when the internet came around, it just exploded. On my laptop, I got more articles saved about how to heal your body from different things than anything else. So when Ron Deering introduced me to CBD oil, I was already taking it. I was already taking another CBD oil from a farmer in Colorado. But Ron and I have known him for like 3 years. So Ron was my go-to guy, because Ron is a kind of a technical genius, and I'm not a techie person. So he was the guy that was doing my ClickFunnels. He was the guy that was doing my blog. Okay, so he and I already had a relationship. He says, listen, Carlos, I hear the company that you're with closed down. I'm not being a vulture, because you know I've been trying to get you onto my MLMs over the course of the years. But I also know that you're into holistic products. I go, I just joined an amazing company called My Daily Choice Hempworks, where we're distributing CBD oil. Right away, he caught my attention. I go, Ron, you know I'm taking CBD oil. Let me see what this is about. Okay, so I took a look at it, did all my research. All my life, I've always been about top quality products all the time. When I buy my vitamins and all that other kind of stuff, it's always the best quality. So I looked at the information in the back office documentation. I said, this is really good CBD oil. So one, I was already sold there. Then I started looking, I look at the compensation plan, and then I opted in. I became a pre-enrollee, and then I saw who was in the video in the back office, Robert Hollis. I said, whoa. So now I didn't know Robert Hollis personally, but I've known of him for like 5 or 6 years at the time. Okay. I said, Robert Hollis, I knew he was in retirement. I go, he came out of retirement to look at this company. Robert doesn't just join any company. As soon as I saw that Robert Hollis was in this, I said, where do I sign? How do I get to the top level? Okay. So I came in as a hemp exec right away. And then I took off. I hit the 5K rank in my first 10 days. I hit the 10K rank in my first 17 days. And then I was stuck there for like 4 or 5 months. And until I got to the 25K rank. Okay. Now shooting towards the 50K rank. Now, what are the secrets to success? Here's what I'm going to share with you, the golden nuggets. Now, this is something that I learned from my mentor, Robert Hollis. So there are actually a few steps. So I kind of have my little notes here, my little cheat sheet, as I always do on my lives, by the way. Okay. All right. So here's the thing, folks. Number one, You want to first work on you. Most important thing. That's the most important thing you could do, because I can show you tips and tricks on what to do. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't know how truly special you are, that energy that you are portraying to the person that you're speaking to, it comes across, and it comes across loud and clear. Okay, so you need to work on you, and you need to know that you are truly, truly special. Okay, so there's this video, and I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on how to do that in just a second. But there's this video out there by a guy named Dr. Bruce Lipton. It's a short video, less than 10 minutes long. Okay, now Dr. Bruce Lipton, he says, okay, that 5% of our subconscious is created. Okay, I'm sorry, 95% of what we think, say, and do is created by only 5% of our subconscious. I'm gonna repeat that. 95% of everything that we think, that we say, and that we do is only created by 5% of our subconscious. Now, that 5% of our subconscious is created in the first 7 years of our life. So guess what? Whatever it is that you think and act and say and feel, it's not your fault, because you've been programmed that way. All right, so think about it. If we're lucky enough to have parents, because not all of us are lucky enough to have parents as we grow up, right? But if we're lucky enough to have parents, that's really our main point of contact in our first 7 years. Our siblings, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, our school teachers, our friends, the people in the neighborhood, okay, our neighbors, and society in general. And nowadays, kids got tablets. Right? I mean, everything's at their fingertips. It's not like, before where mom and dad can just, shut off the TV. Now, I mean, they got access to everything nowadays right at their fingertips. So that first 7 years of programming is so important. But Dr. Bruce Lipton says there's only one way to change that 95% and that we think, say, and do, and it's by changing the 5%. How do you change that 5%? The only way to change that 5% is through repetition. What are you constantly saying to yourself? What are you constantly reading? What are you constantly watching on TV? Okay, because the more of that you get into your mind, the more you're programming your mind. And you're just affirming one thing or the other. If you're affirming, a point of desperation and destituteness, and I'm broke and I have no resources, guess what? You're just confirming what's already there. So how do you reprogram that 5%? You reprogram it by what you read. Why do you think, okay, that people that have success, they have a bigger bookshelf than they do TV? Because they spend more time reading, all right? So this is one of the, besides the Bible, this is probably the most important book that I've ever read. If you've never read this, please pick this book up. It's a very short read. It's only about 115 pages long, The Greatest Miracle in the World. And read this over and over and over. You're going to start to realize how special and how truly unique that you are. So duper important, folks, because I'm saying you're not looking for some kind of techniques. You're looking to work on you more than anything else. I'm going to give you a couple of techniques in just a little bit, but that is number one. The other thing is, and I'll send these to Heather if you don't already have these, Heather, and so you can send this out to the group. The other thing is these I am statements. You probably you see them backwards on the TV, these I am statements. So imagine yourself, I would print these out and I would read these first thing. I still do this. This is something like you're going to incorporate these into your life for the rest of your life, like brushing your teeth. You don't leave your home without brushing your teeth. You don't go to bed without brushing your teeth. This is going to go along with it. Same thing. Now, these I am statements, for example, imagine instead of watching the news, like I don't even watch the news anymore. The news, I used to wake up with the news app. Well, I would first I'll read up a quick Bible quote because I got the Bible thing on my phone. And then same thing at night, say a prayer. And then I go to sleep with the news app. Guess what? 99% of the news is negative. So guess what I'm doing? It's just programming negative stuff into my mind. Okay. But imagine instead you read these kind of statements to yourself. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I deeply and fully accept myself. I feel safe and secure in my life. I feel loved and deserving of love. I am competent, capable, and worthy. I am loving and I am loved. I am surrounded by trusting and trustworthy friends. I bring value to everyone. I am a child of God in the universe he created. I am a success. I can be, do, and have everything I want. I can do anything I put my mind to. I vividly picture what I want and resolutely move toward it. Prosperity is circulating in my life. Imagine this programming going into you twice a day. This is how you reprogram that 5%. This is a must. If you are tired of living the life that you're living, because I know I got to the point where I was tired of being broke. I had to change me. Robert Hollis said, Carlos, you need to work on you. This is the most important thing, guys. You got to work on you. So I'll send these to Heather, and this you can get on Amazon. It's like 10, 12 bucks, no more than 15 bucks. Okay. The greatest miracle in the world. So this is number one. Okay. So hopefully you got value from that part of it. Now, number two. Have you guys heard of Christopher Livingston? Have you ever heard of Christopher Livingston? Raise your hand. If not, I'll share a 5-minute news clip. So he's with HempWorks, okay? He's with My Daily Choice HempWorks. And let me share with you Christopher Livingston's story. He's from North Carolina, okay? Christopher Livingston, I don't know how old he is, but looking at him, he looks like he's about my age, so high 40s, early 50s, some who knows, maybe he's younger, okay? But Christopher Livingston, he ended up growing up without parents, was bounced around from, foster home to foster home, sexually abused, just went through a lot of stuff, turned to the bottle as many people do, right? And I'm not judging him. I'm not judging him whatsoever, but he turned to the bottle. He was an alcoholic. He ended up having a daughter that was born without kidneys. So she was a baby, a ton of health. She just recently, she's 25 years old. So I think she'll be 26 this year. Her name is Devin, okay? Devin recently went through her 3rd kidney transplant, okay? So but here's the thing. He'll tell you that he wasn't a father. He was pretty much non-existent in his life because he was too busy with substance abuse and hitting the bottle, feeling sorry for himself, okay? Depressed, suicidal, and a lot of other things. Well, he was introduced to our CBD oil. He'll tell you right to your face and to my face, CBD oil changed his life. And as a result, he got asked to be on a Fox News clip in North Carolina, and he's on this mini 5-minute. There's 2 people on this news clip. One is a female, a lady that was in ER in the military, and the second one is Christopher Livingston. He's a very emotional guy. Everything, like, he's still detoxing. He's still healing. So everything he does, he cries about. But as a result of this leads me to this point. He is filled with so much enthusiasm and passion that it illuminates from him. Besides working on you, you need to have enthusiasm and passion for this product like nobody's business. If you do that, people are going to get that energy from you. Robert Hollis taught me this as well, and it is so true. So imagine someone's approaching you about a particular product that they're so passionate about, and they share their testimony, or even if it's not your testimony, it doesn't have to be if you don't have an impactful testimony, that's okay. Share someone else's testimony. So look what I'm doing. I'm sharing Chris's testimony all the time. All right. So his testimony is very powerful. And when you speak with that energy and passion, it goes a long way. To me, that's like 50% of the sale already. Not that you're trying to sell people, right? But at the end of the day, we got to get people on board, right? We got to get people and sell them on this idea of this amazing, amazing oil, this miracle oil. So you've got to be enthusiastic and passionate. Now, you've got to know with the greatest conviction that we have the best CBD oil on the market, period. You've got to know that right here. Because if you have any sliver of a doubt, that's going to come across to the person that you're talking to. Because when someone says, when you post something in a group and someone says, oh, HempWorks, you guys are just about money. You guys don't have good CBD oil. Not only do we have the best CBD oil on the planet, but we're U.S. Hemp Authority certified. We're only one of 13 companies Okay. And secondly, all right, secondly, we provide third-party documentation on all our product. Thirdly, we back it up with a 60-day money-back guarantee. And most importantly, we have thousands upon thousands of testimonials. Just look at our corporate testimonials group. I lost count how many people we have in there. Okay. Last time I checked, we had like 70,000 people. It was massive, a massive number. The testimonials speak for themselves. Okay. And I'll share, there's a couple of YouTube videos that I did, a couple of interviews. I'll share those with Heather as well. So that you guys can share them also. Okay. Very important. So lead with a testimonial, be very enthusiastic and passionate about the product. So that would be number 2. Okay. Number 3, I used to suffer from this for a long time. I used to care all the time about what other people thought of me. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are my friends, especially my friends and my family? What are they going to think so folks, I have not been doing lives for a long time. I didn't do my first live until the end of June. That was my first live ever. So when I joined with Ron Deering, I was in desperation mode. Folks, I'll share this with you. When that other company closed down, I was on the verge of getting my largest paycheck ever of $55,000. Frozen in the courts. I'll never see a penny of that. Frozen. So I was in desperation mode. So when I came to Ron, I said, Ron, listen, I don't have a whole lot of money, but I'm coming in as a hemp exec. What do I get to do to get to 5K and 10K as quick as possible? He says, Carlos, you got to do Facebook Lives. Simple as that. Now, there's some other things you got to do along with that, but if you're not doing Facebook Lives, you're just going to delay your progress. I'm like, oh, Ron, I knew you were going to say that. Oh, man. So, I mean, if you guys are around my age, we don't come from this. I still struggle taking selfies. You know, it's just not a thing that I grew up with, right? I see my daughters all the day long. Oh, selfie, selfie. Now when I go with my daughters, and when I go with my daughter, come on, girl, selfie, selfie, selfie. You know, but I still struggle. It's not something that I grew up with. It's just different because I was always brought up. You know, well, at least it's my personality, right? I like to talk about other people. I don't like to talk about me, right? That's always how I've been. But I knew that if I wanted to rank up, I wanted to impact other people's lives, I had to get out of that comfort zone. So I started to do my first lives. And I remember, guys, guess what? If you've never done lives, the first haters that come out are usually your closest friends and your family. I had my sister come out. And I love her dearly. I love her dearly. She actually comes from corporate America. She's a director of sales. She goes, Carlos, are you in a pyramid scheme? You know, and I didn't know what to, you know, again, my first time, I didn't know what to say to her, but eventually I just said, listen, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean, you know, that what you're saying is true. Just say that you don't understand what I'm doing. Just kind of leave it at that. I didn't know how to respond to her because I was shocked that she called me. Well, I was not shocked that she called me. I was shocked that she called me to tell me that, you know? So, but I put her in her place. I said, listen, I'm going through with this. You can support me or not support me. It's up to you. And if you don't like it, block me or unfriend me, unfollow me, or do whatever you want. And so then she didn't do any of that. We're still friends on Facebook. But that was the first hater that came out. And guess what? The one thing that Ron and Robert taught me was this. When I started to get out of my comfort zone and I played big, the haters come out. So when I go through a point when I don't have a hater in a while, I say, well, wait a second. I must not be playing big enough because I haven't had a hater in a while. I actually welcome the haters now. So embrace your haters, use them as fuel, right? But you got to get to the point that you don't care what other people think, because if you care what other people think, that's going to affect your energy that you portray to the people. And guess what? That means you value what they tell you more than your future. You know, at the end of the day, so I made a post, you know, yesterday with my picture on it, okay? And I basically said to them that I stopped caring about what other people think when I realized that their opinion did not pay my bills. It's as simple as that. So you've got to get to the point where you don't care. And I'm telling you, above all else, the greatest freedom that I've ever experienced is when I got to the point where I just laid it all on the line. I became my authentic voice, me, and I didn't care what anybody else said. When you get to that point, the freedom that you get is unbelievable. You're going to get to the point. So guess what? You want to get to another level in your business or in your life. You can't get there until you get out of that comfort zone, because God is not going to show you that next level until you take that leap of faith. And folks, and Ray Higdon has said this, and Ron Deering has said this, and Robert Hollis has said this. By me staying in my own shell, I was being selfish. By me being in my own shell, I was being selfish. What do I mean by that? Okay. We have a product that's going to help millions of people. And the more quiet I stay, the other problem that I had was, oh my goodness, they're going to think I'm in marijuana, right? When I first started getting into CBD. So that was the other thing I had. But the more quiet I stay, the less people are going to hear about this. Okay. And I always look at it this way. There may be someone that needs to hear this message because they're on the verge of suicide. I'm telling you, it's not unusual to hear someone say, Carlos, or Heather, or Heidi, or Amy, or Sia, or Shannon, or Brance, whomever, okay? Because of your message, I didn't take my life that day. But they're never going to hear that message unless you open your mouth. Because see, there's an audience that is only meant to hear your voice. That audience that is not destined to hear my voice. They're only meant to hear your voice. And if you keep quiet, they're never going to hear that. Les Brown said that the richest place in the whole universe, I used to think it was like Beverly Hills or something like that, or Silicon Valley. He said the richest place in the universe is the cemetery. Because more people die with a song still in their heart and ideas and passions that they were just too afraid of what other people thought, that they went to the grave with them. And that is so true, exactly what he says. Don't be that person. The only regret that people have in life is when they get to the end of their life and they didn't give it all that they had. You want to get to the point when you meet your creator, you said, well done, good and faithful servant. You gave it all you had. You made mistakes, but you dusted you fell down, but you dusted yourself and picked yourself up. That's when I was closest to you right there. Right? You want to get to that point. When you get to the point where you just get those two things, enthusiasm and don't care what other people think, you're going to be unstoppable. And as a result, Christopher Livingston, he's now a 10K affiliate. He hit 16 or 17K in volume last month. He will hit 25K this month. And if you look at him, he just talks to everyone. And that's what happened with him, because he was really worried when he started talking about CBD oil. For one, he was already at Alcoholics Anonymous, so he was no longer an alcoholic. But remember, someone that's gone through Alcoholics Anonymous because of substance abuse and alcohol, okay, there's always that stigma that, oh, wait a second, now you're distributing CBD oil? What, have you fallen off the wagon? Right? So there was that stigma that came with. So he was worried about that too. But he says, once you make that decision that you don't care what other people think, I'm telling you, the freedom that you get is unbelievable. I feel, even though I tell people, I changed my 9-to-5 job to work 24/7, but I don't feel like I'm working a single minute, because I am in my purpose. I am in my passion. I love doing this. Okay. When you start impacting lives, when you get to this point and you're doing it, the time goes by so fast. And at the end of the day, okay, Tony Robbins says, you got to be growing and you got to be contributing. If you are growing and you are contributing, you achieve to the point where you actually achieve fulfillment. Like, I feel fulfilled. Okay. One of my all-time favorite actors is Robin Williams. May you rest in peace. Okay. Now, Robin Williams, when he got to the point, all right, you would think, okay, wait a second, he's got all this money, all this success, all this fame, but he got to the point where he was no longer, in my opinion, he was no longer growing and he was no longer contributing anymore. And what happens when that happens, right? You go to depression, life doesn't have its meaning anymore, right? Because you can make all the money in the world, But if you're not growing and you're not contributing, there's no purpose in life. You got to get to that point where you're growing and contributing. If you feel like you're not growing, you're stuck, the only thing that's stopping you is that fear of what other people think, and you got to get past that. How do you do it? Just rip the Band-Aid off. That's it. That's all. You just make a decision. And I'm going to give you a little story in just a second. All right. Number 4. So we talked about working on you. We talked about enthusiasm and passion. We talked about not caring what other people think. Now is the next one. This is one of Robert Hollis's favorite subjects. Follow directions. How many people here are overthinkers? Raise your hand. Be honest. I'm not judging you. Okay. Overthinking. And if you look at the post that I made today, okay, on Facebook, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Okay. It says, overthinking is the art of creating problems that don't exist. Right? And that was me too. But a part of it has to do with fear, guys and ladies. A part of it has to do with fear. Like, oh my goodness, what if I make a mistake? Because we're so used to, I got to have all my ducks in a row. I just got to know. Okay. And you know, one of my all-time favorite movies is Forrest Gump. I love Forrest Gump. Okay. Now, Forrest Gump, when Jenny told him to run, he ran. You know, when he came back, you know, from Vietnam, right? And he gives Jenny the Congressional Medal of Honor. He goes, Jenny goes, Forrest, I can't take that. Well, I only got it because I did what you told me to do. I ran, right? Or when he's with the drill sergeant, he's putting together the rifle, right? And the drill sergeant times him, you know, no, it says, Gump, why'd you put that rifle together so quickly for Gump? Because you told me to, drill sergeant. You want to get to the point. If you want the quickest success, follow instructions, don't ask questions, just do it. Because if you start to get to the point where you start to think about it too much, you're going to scare yourself. You're going to get into too much overthinking. What if? And then you get to the point where you don't take action. Follow instructions. Be like Forrest Gump. Okay. So that was number 4. And last but not least, you want to focus and you want to be consistent. Okay. Robert Hollis calls it, and actually this is one of my favorite books. Do I have it here? Yeah, here it goes. Okay, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Okay, this book just talks about mastering the mundane. Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Master the mundane. Tons of stories in here, okay, of people just doing the same repetitive things over and over and over and over. So, for example, if someone comes to me, someone on my team, after I taught them and trained them already, and they say, Carlos, I'm not getting any leads. I'm not closing anybody. I always ask them politely, okay, hey, Bob, hey, Betty, how many people are you contacting per day? Well, what does that got to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. If you're not contacting if you're not reaching out to enough people every single day, and I let them set their own goals, okay? You set your own goal. I say a minimum of 10 people, but you should be reaching out to a minimum of 10 people per day to see if they're open to take a look at this opportunity. So I asked them, you should be keeping a tally. How many are you averaging? You know, and they told me, well, you know, Carlos, I kind of do 10 sometimes. I kind of don't. I'm like, well, master the mundane. You got to master the fundamentals. If any of you played sports or your kids have played sports, okay, and you look at what the coaches do with you or with your children, they're going through drills, the same repetitive drills over and over. If they're playing basketball, okay, it's the same drills over and over. Soccer, the same drill. It doesn't matter what sport. It's the same mundane activities over and over and over until you master it. Why? Because it becomes muscle memory, right? So there's no secret to this. The secret is I've got to talk to as many people as possible. Robert Hollis calls it sifting sand. I got to sift as much sand as quickly as possible, because the more sand that I sift, the quicker the opportunity that I'm going to get to that gold nugget or that diamond. Okay, so ask yourself set your own goal. How many new people that I reach out to today? How many new people that I reached out to today? And whatever that goal is, if you're serious about ranking up to 10K, then you better be doing a bare minimum of 25 new people per day. A minimum. Okay. Take a look at your Facebook friends list. If you don't have 5,000 friends, get to 5,000 friends. Now I've got some trainings that I'll share with Heather, okay, that I uploaded to YouTube that she can share with you guys on how to get to those 5,000 friends and what to say to them. Okay, you've got to get to 5,000 friends as quickly as possible, because if you've only got 300-400, you've got less than 1,000 friends, guess what? That's your audience. You're going to run through that pretty quickly, and you have to be refreshing that list. So you've got to get to 5,000 friends as quickly as possible. Now, again, this is not a marathon. This is not saying, hey, I've got 2 months to get to 5,000 friends. No, because Facebook will put you in Facebook jail, right? So you got to be smart about it. So typically, here's how I train my people, right? I teach them, you've got to be adding 30 to 50 new friends to your Facebook every single day. And through these videos, I teach them where to get them. Okay. Now, if you're adding 30 to 50, that doesn't mean all of those are going to accept, right? Only maybe 25 to 50% will accept, but that's okay. But you should be adding friends every day, because you've got to grow your audience, right? It's hard to get to 5K and 10K if you've got a list of 300 friends. You've got to continue to grow the audience. So now imagine if you are growing your friends list by just 10 people a day. Let's say you put out 30 friend requests and 10 people say yes. After 30 days, you've got 300 new friends. After 90 days, you've got almost 1,000 new friends, right? That makes a big difference. Now you got and if you focus on the target market, which this training shows you, okay, then that's going to help you even more. All right. So super important that you grow your friends list and you set your own goal, but you've got to be reaching out to a multitude of people per day. Now, how do you get to the point? Does anybody here struggle with, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say, or I don't want to sound salesy, like, oh, I'm so afraid to get rejected. And that's okay. I'm not judging. Who's that say? Okay. That's okay. Totally fine. Totally fine. Okay. That was me. That was me for years. And I'm just telling you, it's okay. Let's just not keep you stuck there. Let's get you past there. So that's what these things are for, because you're going to reprogram your mind with these. That's what these are so super duper important. Okay. Now, you got to get to the point where you say enough is enough. I was in desperation mode. When that other high ticket company closed down, I had about a month worth, maybe 6 weeks worth of funds. And I was like, my back was against the wall. Okay. So there's a guy from Shark Tank by the name of Damon John called The Power of Broke. Okay. And that book tells a lot of stories about people that are like, when you have your back against the wall, it's actually a blessing. All right. Because comfortable people don't take chances. Comfortable people stay comfortable. And that was me. And I'm going to tell you a story about Les Brown. Okay. So Les Brown, I love watching listening to motivational speakers. Okay. And Les Brown is one of my favorite. So Les Brown, he tells a story about, it's a beautiful summer day. And there's these young kids kind of strolling through the neighborhood. And as they're strolling through the neighborhood, they see this man with a dog on his porch. And the man's just, I would imagine he's just enjoying a nice, probably on a rocking chair, you know, enjoying a nice sip of lemonade. But as they pass by, they hear this dog kind of moaning and groaning and whimpering. It's going, And the kids are kind of puzzled, you know, like, why is this dog moaning and groaning? So they go up to the man, hey, mister, you know, why is your dog moaning and groaning? And he kind of chuckles and he looks down at the dog and he looks up at the kids. He says, well, there's a nail sticking up underneath the floor and the dog is laying on the nail. And the kids kind of looked even more puzzled. Well, why doesn't he move? And he says, because it's not painful enough yet. And the analogy of the story is that's us as humans. When we're comfortable, we don't like where we're at. We're kind of like the dog moaning and groaning, right? But we're comfortable enough. We're like, well, I'm not happy where I'm at. I've got some dreams and goals and desires. You know, I'm not happy getting my 3% raise, or I'm not happy that I'm just one paycheck away from being broke, but it's not uncomfortable enough for me to make a decision yet. And that is us as human beings. And if you're in comfort mode, you need to find a way to get yourself out of comfort, because that is the only way that you're going to grow and contribute. Okay. I'd rather do it voluntarily than have a company close down, have the real estate market go down, because then you're forced to have your back against the wall. It's easier when it's like voluntary, right? Like, I'm not comfortable, but I'm going to take action now so that my company doesn't lay me off, or I don't succumb to some illness, and I can, develop a nice residual income, that kind of stuff. Voluntarily is better than being forced. However, when you're forced to be put in that situation, it is a blessing. And I've experienced it twice. All right. One, through the real estate market crashing and having to file for bankruptcy and having like just bottoming out with my wife leaving me and all that other stuff. And the second time when the high ticket affiliate marketing closed, and I'm like, okay, I got 6 weeks worth of income. I've got to find a way to get to 5K and 10K as quickly as possible. To be honest with you, if I were comfortable, I don't know that I would have been at 5K and 10K. That desperation mode was a blessing for me. So if you're comfortable now, get yourself uncomfortable by doing what you know you need to do. Whether it's a Facebook Live, whether it's reaching out to people and you're afraid of reaching out to people. Folks, remember this. When you reach out to people and they say no, okay, they're not rejecting you. I used to think that. I used to feel they're not rejecting you, okay? Most people are actually either not going to respond, and you should be following up with those. Follow up until, okay? Or those that do respond belligerently, and I'm going to tell you a little story about this, one of my amazing people right now, okay? Those that respond belligerently, they're not hating on you. They just hate what they see in the mirror. They just hate themselves. So if they don't have the common courtesy to respond to you in a polite manner, and say, hey, Brandy, hey, Amy, hey, Heather, hey, Sia, hey, Brad, thank you so much. I always respond kindly. You know what? Thank you so much for reaching out to me. But right now I am laser focused with my team, perhaps in the future, but thank you so much for reaching out to me. Right. I wish them well. Right. A lot of times you do get people like that. But if someone responds to you belligerently, then at that point, don't respond in kind. Say, hey, my friend, I wish you well. And then at that point, just block them. You don't want someone like that. You don't want someone like that negative on your list. Okay, just block them at that point. But let me tell you about a story about this Canadian lady. She's on my team. Her name is Jane Milliken Horn. Okay. Now, Jane, she's been through some tough times. Like, I don't want to get too much details into her, but she was afraid to come out on Zoom sometimes because she had to wear sunglasses because of the abuse that she was going through. Okay, and that breaks my heart. That like injustice, like bullying, it gets my blood boiling. So as a result, you can just imagine her self-esteem. So I love on her as much as possible. I lift her up. I encourage her as much as possible. I got her out of her comfort. She's not doing lives yet. She's done a dual live with me, but she's not doing lives yet. But guess what? She's out there prospecting people, and she messages me. She messaged me today. She goes, Carlos, oh my goodness, this guy told me I was a total piece of this and a total piece of that. Like I go, hey, Jane, it's just a reflection of who he is. You're you are God's wonderful creature. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are amazing. I am so proud of you. And she sent me a bunch of hearts. She goes, oh, Carlos, thank you so much. That means so much. I go, just block that. I don't even worry about him. Move on to the next person. And what I'm here to tell you, and that she'll tell you as well, if I can do this, if she can do this, you can do this. There are people that need to hear your voice. And this audience is meant for you. And if they respond to you, they reject you kindly, they're not rejecting you. If they respond to you in a hurtful manner, they're just really just talking about themselves. That's how they're doing. And that's how you got to know that. Block, remove, move on to the next person, right? You've got a calling. You've got a purpose, and nothing, right? Memorize these two words, despite and until. Despite and until. I am going to continue despite my circumstances until I succeed. Despite and until. And I'm going to tell you this story about this amazing lady. I was listening to a motivational speaker about a week ago. And as he's speaking, one of the ladies that got invited to speak there along as well was a very powerful female executive. Okay. And he was so moved by her story that he wanted to speak to her after the whole event was done. And he went up to her and he says, miss, I want to know your story. what got you here? I mean, look at you. You're a powerful executive making a huge salary, impacting a lot of people, you know, for a major corporation. I go, what got you here? She goes, well, I'll tell you part of the story. She says, a few years ago, I was a young mom. And I asked my husband for $10. And he told me, what for? And she said, I made a decision that I would never ask again. A life-changing moment. She said, enough is enough. She went to, at that point she wasn't educated, but she took the necessary courses. She did what she had to do. And as a result, her life changed. And so that's the question I've got for you. Have you gotten to the point where enough is enough? Only you can decide that. And once you make that decision, you work on you. You're enthusiastic and passionate about this product. You don't care what other people think. You follow directions. You're focused and consistent, and you're doing the mundane, the fundamentals every single day, despite and until. So I give that back to you. So thank you so much. I hope you got value from this. Thank you so much, Heather.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. You're amazing, inspirational, and just have so much value. I mean, just so much knowledge. Your story is incredible. It's incredible. Just there's such endurance and resilience, you know. I can't thank you enough. And you know, just to give these guys some of your wisdom. Hopefully they took notes. You know, it's just thank you so much for coming out here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And folks, and know this, I believe in everyone, like every person here. I believe in you. You're all fearfully and wonderfully made. You're all special, and you all have what it takes. I'm telling you, I see everyone here getting to 100K by convention, and you can do it despite and until. Get out there and change lives. When you make it about other people, right? Robert Hollis always says that success comes in service of many. One of the things that changed for me when I stopped thinking about, okay, can I sell this person? Can I sell this person? When I made it more about how can I help this person? That was a game changer for me. That was a game changer for me. So for example, when I reach out to someone and I show them, I lead with the 5-minute video that I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share a bunch of things with Heather, but I lead with this 5-minute video that Christopher Livingston is on. And once the person watches it, I just ask them a simple question. What did you like best about the video? And I'm quiet and I listen to what they have to say, right? Empathetically. I'm not already thinking about, okay, what am I going to say next? I'm just listening to them. When people know that you care, game's over. Game's over because you've made that connection with them, and that is it. The game is over at that point in time. So when someone tells me, well, Carlos, you know what? I'm not really interested in the business, but you know what? I'd like to try this product, okay? Most people will just, okay, great, here's my link. Good luck to you. Let me know when you order. Or I'll see you when you order, you know, and that's it. No, I take the time because I need to make that connection with that person. I say, you know, well, I say, Heather, you know what? Thank you so much for, you know, for everything that you shared for me. You know, Heather, may I ask you a personal question? He's like, well, yeah, sure, Carlos. Well, may I ask you, why are you taking, may I ask you why you're taking this product? What health challenges are you trying to overcome? Connection. It's done. I've got this person. All right. Because I took the time to care. And I actually do take the time because I really sincerely care about what that person's going through. And when that person tells me, well, you know, Carlos, it's not really for me. You know, it's my daughter, it's my son, it's my mom, it's my brother, whatever. And this is what they're going through. I'm like, oh, wow, that really breaks my heart. Man, it must have been so tough for you. Right. You make that connection. And I'm telling you, that person will never leave you. You made that, when people know that you care, at that point, they start to trust you, and trust is the key to joining you, whether as a customer or as an affiliate. When they got that trust, and once you get that trust, don't ever break it. Never break that trust for anyone. How do you get people to know that you care? By being interested in what's important to them. If all I care about is selling a bottle, guess what? that's bad energy that I'm sending to them, and they're gonna get that a million miles away, and they'll never ever trust me. They got to know that you care. So take an interest in people, and then when you meet them heart to heart, that's it. Game's over. You will become unstoppable. You'll become like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, unstoppable. Nothing can stop you. Let them know that you care.
Absolutely. I think that's why Heidi and I've had, such good results. We take the time, slow down, and take the time to listen to what people are saying to you, and take interest and care, of course. Right?
Exactly. Care, because you're better off making one solid connection instead of 10 little mini connections, just like that. One good solid connection, forget about it. I mean, that's life-changing right there. And let that person know that they're special, because that's really what, at the end of the day, what it's all about. You're all here because you care for your family, you care for your loved ones, and you want a different future for yourself. Right? And it starts by, just getting to the point where you're like, hey, I gotta scream this from the mountaintops, because if you do that, I'm telling you, and when people see your enthusiasm and that you care, oh man, that's it. I'm telling you, Keanu Reeves all over the place. You got this. It's gonna be the Matrix everywhere.
That's awesome. You used to have such high energy. I can feel it coming off of the screen.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for me? I can answer any questions that anybody has. Any questions for me?
Raise a hand. Anybody got some questions for him while we have him here?
Yeah, and it's okay if you don't. Don't feel pressured. If you don't, that's okay.
Brant.
I got one question, Carlos.
Yeah, hey, is that Brands? What's up, Brands?
How you doing? Welcome to the.
There's a 25K affiliate coming up pretty soon. What's up?
I'm trying, buddy. It's nice to have another male on here.
You're lucky, man. You're lucky. I'm telling you, women are the powerhouses. The way I make my posts, I try to make it so I get mostly women, because this market is 80% women, and women crush it. And
I usually prospect women myself, because I just find that they do very well at this. But no, I wanted to touch base because you had talked about touching anywhere between presenting your product or presenting your opportunity to 10 to 20 people bare minimum a day. Do you consider your go lives, because I see you do go lives almost every single day, do you consider that touching 10 to 20 people or part of that, or are you strictly talking about messaging?
I'm strictly talking about messaging, so I don't even consider that like as a single touch. That's just marketing. So folks, Brands, which brings up a very good point. I'm glad you brought this up. When it comes to business, and it can be any kind of business, it can be a network marketing business, an online business, a brick and mortar business. There's only two ways to get customers. Only two ways: marketing and prospecting. That is it. Okay. So marketing. Let's talk about marketing. Okay. Marketing. There is free marketing. And then there's paid marketing. Okay, so free marketing is through content, putting content out there, value such as the Facebook Lives or posts on your Facebook. So that's the free marketing. Now, free marketing is not necessarily free. Marketing, you either pay for it with your time or you pay for it with your money, right? It'd be ideal. The ideal thing is to get paid marketing, but right now there's a challenge because we're in the CBD industry, right? But the ideal thing is to get paid marketing, a paid marketing method that works, because that is measurable and it's scalable, okay? So those are the two sides of marketing: free through content, and paid marketing through either solo ads or Instagram ads or Facebook ads, whatever the case may be. On the other side of the coin is prospecting, okay? Now, there's two kinds of prospecting. There's cold market prospecting, and then there's warm market prospecting, right? So cold market is someone completely cold, all right? On Facebook, you just made a new Facebook friend. You're trying to make a connection to warm them up a little bit. So, but technically, it's still kind of cold market because they don't really know you, right? On the other side is the warm market, people that have known you for a long time, that kind of thing, right? So at the end of the day, you should be doing a combination of both, the marketing and the prospecting, because that's when you really up your game. Now, what I teach people to do, what I teach my team to do on the marketing side, because Facebook Lives are very important. So people that are just first starting, I just try to get them to do like maybe one Facebook Live a week. And I usually take them to Ray Higdon's page and teach them what to talk about. But because they're brand new, I teach them to speak about whatever they're passionate about. So for example, let's just say you're someone that loves cooking. You have a passion for cooking. So I teach people about cooking. Like, hey, this amazing thing. And then do what Ray Higdon teaches, which is you do the transition and the call to action. So, hey, listen, folks, I just came up with this amazing recipe for chicken cacciatore, and boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now, as a side note, the reason I have so much time to do what I love to do, or the reason I have so much money to do and invest in this beautiful kitchen and take the time to learn how to cook is because I got this amazing online business that gives me the time to do that. Right? So you make a transition and a call to action because it's easier for a person to do a Facebook Live when they talk about what they're passionate about. Okay. If you love gardening, speak, until you can get your feet wet with your live so you can get used to it and comfortable. Talk about what you're passionate about, but then do a transition and a call to action. So every live should have a call to action. So for example, if you look at mine today, I started doing a Facebook Live about doing the small thing because I was watching a Jay Shetty video. Okay, I got motivated and inspired. So I shot a quick, 5 to 8 minute Facebook Live talking about what that video meant to me, about doing all the small things that matter. And then I transitioned and did a call to action. So in every Facebook Live, you want to you can be talking about anything, but then, hey, listen, on a side note, not having to do anything with cooking chicken cacciatore, okay? The reason I've got so much time to learn about cooking, why I have so much passion, why I can have this amazing kitchen is because I've got this amazing online business that gives me the time to do that. If you'd like to learn what it is that I'm doing, comment below or send me a private message and I'll be glad to I'll give you a free tour of what I'm doing. All right? So pick whatever you're passionate about. Talk about it passionately because guess what? Now when you're on the video, okay, when you're doing the live, it's not hard for you to talk about what's passionate about. You don't have to sit there and write notes because you just speak from your heart. Does that make sense? Yeah? Awesome. Awesome. It's a great point. I like that, Brent. Awesome question.
Absolutely awesome. Awesome value. Anybody else got any other questions for Carlos while we have him here? No? Okay. Guys, if you want to give him a huge thank you, you guys want to unmute yourself and give him a huge thank you.
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough. I appreciate such knowledge and such energy. It's awesome.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to see you guys ranking up and do amazing things, folks. Remember, get out of that comfort zone. Go out there and make it about touching people's lives because I believe in every single one of you. You guys got this.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night, and I'll speak to the rest of you guys soon. And thank you so much again, Carlos. Have a good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. And Heather, I'll send you all that information I promised you. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. Bye. Take care. Have a good night.